Welcome back to the program. I'm Zev Brenner, live in our studios. As we told you, we're focusing on Zionists, Satmar Zionists for Israel. Yoel Weiss is part of a group that's planning to make an Aliyah, grew up in a Satmar family, as did Shmili Barmi, also a part of a group called Zoreach, Hasidim for Settling the Land of Israel. I spoke to the various members. They claim as many as 500 people in the Hasidic community. They're planning to make Aliyah to the Holy Land. Good vach, thank you for joining us. Good vach, thank you. So let me first turn to you, Yoel. Your name for the Satmar Rebbe. You grew up in the Satmar community. You went to yeshiva there. You've participated, I would assume, in some rallies, demonstration against Israel. So, what happened?
Yes, I grew up in Monroe, Kiryas Yoel, named after the Heilige Satmar Rebbe, and I grew up in Satmar. Of course, I participated in anti-Zionist rallies when I grew up. What changed in me is basically the awareness of the Heiligkeit of Kaddish Yisrael. As I grew up, I became close to Breslov, to Reb Nachman, and the emphasis and the yearnings for Eretz Yisrael, the Gegim, the Chasifim, to live in Eretz Yisrael and to be there. I was seeing it, and I was wondering myself, and I was wondering, I don't love Eretz Yisrael. So I started asking Hashem every day, please help me to love Eretz Yisrael. And loving I started. And, Reb Nussen, Reb Nachman's biggest disciple, once asked him when he talks about Kiddush Eretz Yisrael, what does he mean? She said, I mean these houses and these trees. Simple. So it is Eretz Yisrael. And when I went there for the first time a couple of years ago, I fell in love. You can't deny it. It's our land. Hashem gave it to Avram Avini. And we're here in 2015, and we can be part of this promise that Hashem promised Avram Avini.
But this wasn't part of your upbringing, because the upbringing was to be anti-Israel, right? Or
yes, but I didn't. It wasn't part of the curriculum when I grew up to learn Yoel Moshe and the Cheder I went to. So, I mean, the teachings of the Satmar Rebbe in detail wasn't.
They just told you to be anti-Zionist?
Yes.
But they didn't give you any reason why you should be anti-Zionist, or did they?
Not to the kids. Not really, no.
And in the household, did your family say that? Why?
We never went into the reasons and the details, but my father was very against Eretz Yisrael and against, and I never understood it. And when I was on my own, I was questioning, what is this? We were davening every day.
Return to Zion, right?
And you're talking about Satmar, the Zionist. Which Yid is not a Zionist, a Zioni, a lover of Zion. It's a gift that Hashem gave us, and He gave us now in the modern day, and it's something that you can't escape. It's part of our DNA. So I love Eretz Yisrael, Baruch Hashem.
What do you do in real life, by the way?
I'm a chocolatier. I make chocolate, and I have a store in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, 106 Lee Avenue.
What's the name of the store?
Chocolate Weiss is the name of the store. The name of the chocolate brand. You could buy it in our location, 106 Lee Avenue. You can buy it at any other candy store. Own Nuts sells it. Notary in Borough Park. You can go online, chocolatewiseonline.com, or call 718-218-7271. Best chocolate in the world. It's in Brooklyn. It's not in Eretz Yisrael, but it's good chocolate.
But from the way you're talking,
yes.
you'll still have a branch in Eretz Yisrael.
I will.
Make the chocolate.
I
know this from the way you talk with such passion for Eretz Yisrael. It's just a matter of time before you have a division there. That may even be your main division.
Oh, man.
I keep on telling him.
Shmili, yes.
Open up a location at Israel.
He will. He will do well, because they love sweet things in Israel. So,
right.
And I'm sure you'll do well. So, Shmili, we welcome you. Thank you for joining us live in our studios.
Thank
so,
you for
again,
having
you
me.
had a similar background to Yoli. You went to a Satmar yeshiva.
Had a similar background to Yoli. Similar finding of Israel too. First time I went to Uman, 2011, Shabbos Chanukah, and 4 weeks later I see myself in Israel. And that's Israel. Before that, whenever you would ask me, you want to come to Israel, I would say, let me first finish America. Let me see what America has to offer. Then I'll go to Israel. But then I came to Israel and I saw something amazing, something that it's like I don't have to protect. I don't have to say, look, you have to come up to Israel. I don't have to. You can see it you go into Chumash and the Gemara. You go in Ksibis, it says, Kol Hadar B'Eretz Yisrael, Skili, Yesh Lelekei, and Kol Hadar B'Chis Lur, Skili, Ein Lelekei.
You don't have a God. Those that live in Israel have a God. Those that don't live in Israel
exactly,
don't have a God.
or
Correct?
rather live in Israel where there's 99% Goyim, 1% Yidden, than live in Galus where there's 99% Yidden and 1% Goy. So there's something going on over here with that Israel. And by me, Zionism didn't start 150 years ago. Zionism started 4,000 years ago when Hashem told Avram, look, I'm going to take your kids into the land of
So
Canaan.
if you would actually start about a year or two ago because you grew up, it was verboten, right? It was forbidden.
It was forbidden. It's like Yoel said, I never learned to be al Moshe. I don't know.
But you went to demonstrations, anti-Israel?
I went to one demonstration in Manhattan, which I really didn't know what's all about. Just we went, the whole class went, so we all went along.
But didn't they tell you why you're protesting, why you're anti-this?
It was
Israel?
basically anti. Don't ask questions. It's forbidden for us. Don't ask questions. But I'm not here to bash the Satmar shit.
No, I was just curious because
or the Satmar.
What I found fascinating is that they don't teach Yoel Moshe, which is the main writing of the Satmar Rebbe of blessed memory, which he has a very anti-Zionist perspective, and it's written in his writings. And I'm surprised they don't teach it. They just tell you to be anti-Zion without even giving the background. That I found to be quite interesting in my conversations.
Yes, because if you really would learn Yoel Moshe, you would see that the Satmar Rebbe really loved Israel. He loved that Israel. He's talking constantly about the mitzvah of Yeshiva at Israel. He's only saying there's a few conditions. I think there's 13 conditions. If you want to live in Israel, he'll tell you have to have your own business and you need to your kids need to learn a certain yeshiva. But he's saying there's definitely a mitzvah of Yeshiva at Israel going on in today's days, not only 2,000 years ago or 3,000 years ago. Even today, we must. It's a mitzvah the same as any other mitzvah in the Torah, and we see in the end of Parshat Nitzavim, where Hashem says, "Kihi chayechu v'yomechu l'sheves al adom ha'zoid," that your whole life should be surrounded by living in the land of Israel and settling in the land of Israel and eat of the land.
Now, were you taught to hate the state of Israel or the land of Israel? What were you taught when you were in yeshiva?
It wasn't really. Was basically that's not allowed. We're not going there. We're not discussing it. It's not allowed. Why? Because it's kfira. That's it. That's where it ends.
Yeah, kefira was the popular word. And that's a kiris adas, that it's against the Torah, the laws of Israel. And, we know Israel is getting better and better, and there's laws that needs to be fixed. But this is what they were pointing out. And I like to look at the positive points. There's a lot of positive points to look at, and there's many things that has to be dealt with. But they were...
Well, true of any country. I mean,
Yes.
it's a spelling country in its infancy.
Yeah.
How did your families take to your position? Because you're obviously taking a different perspective than you grew up with. How did your family take to it?
They don't agree. They have a different opinion. It's a big picture. They have approach. Rabbi Yoel had it was Gedolim. This Gudel said that Gudel said this, and I don't know the halacha. I don't know what it wasn't discussed in a halachic way, but they definitely disagree, and they don't think actually it was forbidden just to go there to visit. It's something that was very not allowed. Yeah.
Now, how did you get together? From what I understand, there might be 500 people like you, mostly Satmar, but in the Hasidic community that developed this love for Israel despite growing up not having this love. How did this group permeate, get off the ground? I'm talking about Zoreach, where you have this loose association with people who are like-minded. How did it happen?
Now, first of all, Zoreach is not a Zionist group per se. Zoreach is a group about Yeshiva Israel. They want to help everybody out there here, Hasidic people. If you want to live,
Whether they call themselves Zionists or not, they'll help you go to Israel. Is what you're basically saying.
they help you go to Israel, whether you are a Zionist or not. Whether you want to live in Meir She'orim or you want to live in Hebron or in Judea and Samaria, it doesn't matter. They want to help you make Aliyah, and because we have Nefesh B'Nefesh, but it's for Haredi people, for Hasidic people who speak Yiddish, it's very hard to communicate with Nefesh B'Nefesh, as in they don't have the right program for the Hasidic people over here. So that's why Zoreach opened up that group. They have a website, they have a blog, WhatsApp groups. I mean, that's how usually we get together, by WhatsApp. WhatsApp is amazing.
Yes, it is. And Zoreach is where they can find you, people who will give that information throughout the program. But I'm curious then, because if you're a Satmar, you believe to the ideology of the Satmar Rebbe, in a sense, you're going against one of his major tenets, which is he had this he was anti-Medina, anti the state, anti-Zionism. So how do you reconcile the fact, and I'm talking about those, maybe yourself, that you're part of the community and at the same time you're going against one of the major tenants? Do you think that if the Rebbe was alive today, he would have changed his position based on what Israel is today? Yoli.
I think that the Rebbe was, as far as I heard, I didn't know him. I'm named after him, a big tzaddik and a big Talmud Chacham, and he had his opinion in this halacha. There were many gedolim with different opinions. I don't try to reconcile it. There is opinions to this side and there's opinions to that side, and every opinion is interesting and it has some pointers and truth to it. The natural instinct in me is the love for Eretz Yisrael. Again, the Satmar Rebbe probably felt for important at the time, for sure, when the leftist agenda, I think, it was so strong that it needed to be balanced. It could be that's what he was trying to achieve. I heard once that one of the Gedolim told Satmar Rebbe, "I'm happy that you're doing this, because if you wouldn't have done this, I would have had to do it." It was the hype of the it was almost like the Oilam when they came after the war. They were drugged up, and a lot of things probably fell to the weight to the side, and it needed attention. So the Satmar Rebbe did it. So that's amazing. But I think today, if you look in Israel, there are thousands and thousands of Baal Shivas, and the land is going towards Torah more and more, and it needs a lot of perfection still. But by being there and by being involved and by participating and having your opinion, it will go better and better until perfection, because perfection is what we're looking for. So how do I reconcile? I don't reconcile it. I know what I feel, and I know Satmar Rebbe had his opinion. There were others' opinions as well.
Well, the Ema Bar Smecha, Rabbi Tachtel, is somebody who's someone of great stature. I love his sefer Ema Bar Smecha, where he has a different perspective. He came from being anti the Israel, anti the Medina, and the word in his book, written by heart during the Holocaust, where he had epiphany and had a whole different perspective, which I think
he was a Kanoi before that, right?
Correct. And then, but he had the change, and his sefer is a wonderful sefer. Would you call yourself a Zionist, or?
I call myself a Oyev Tzion. You want to say Zionist? It's a fancy name. Yes,
Zionist.
Okay.
I love Eretz Yisrael for sure.
I know you speak with a passion. I love the passion. Those that are just tuning in, we're looking at Association of Satmar Zionists for Israel. Zoreach has other Hasidim there as well. And we're live in our studios. Yoel Weiss, he has a chocolate store in Williamsburg, and you can also buy it in various locations as well.
Thank you.
And Shmili, Barmi, what do you do? You're in real life.
I do framing.
You do framing.
Construction framing.
Construction framing, okay. And more in the Monroe area?
Muncie, Monroe, Jersey, upstate.
I'm
East
sure you
Coast
wouldn't mind
famous.
doing it in Eretz Yisrael, right?
And so he's getting ready. The skills are much needed in Israel.
Right.
There's a lot of stuff still needed in Israel. Actually, the import-export business to bring in stuff to Israel now became a lot easier. Bennett, I think, took off a lot of bureaucracy to bring it. It should be easier to bring in stuff from China to Israel. I know there's a big need of a lot of stuff to bring in. I know that the real estate in Israel is really booming. I mean, you go. I was just there for Pesach. They're building everywhere, and if they're building, that means that people are buying. People are buying. That means there's money there. I mean, Israel's not as it used to be. 10 years ago, Israel maybe was a little primitive, but right now, Israel is advanced in everywhere. And
so, when do you plan making Aliyah? Or you have a date?
Well, I'm planning to buy a house there this summer.
Very nice.
In Yerushalayim, in the Rechavi area, I want to buy. Maybe I'm not going to move right away. I'll rent it out. But first, I have a house there. And, of course, my wife has to be ready. I have to be ready. And it's going to happen. It's not a process that happens from one minute to another. I started this process 3 years ago. And I believe that by the end of the 5 years, in 2 years from now, I will live there. Met Shem.
You hear it. Satmar Zionists. When we come back, we have a lot of emails coming in. We're going to take your phone calls as well. Our number, 1-888-NYC Radio. 888-NYC Radio, 888-692-7234. If you are Have any questions? If you yourself are part of the Satmar community or any Hasidic community, or we're just curious to know about what's going on, here's a unique opportunity to speak to a group of young people that are become Satmar Zionists for Israel that want to move to the Holy Land. 888-692-7234 is our number. You want to email us. It's also a great way to get your questions answered. zev@talklinecommunications.com. That's zev@talklinecommunications.com. If the lines are busy, you can try the email. Again, the number 1-888-NYC Radio. If you can't spell out, it's 888-692-7234. We're going to be right back. Don't go away. Stay tuned. Coming to the grand opening of New York iPhone Repair at 1279 49th Street near the B11 bus. Let Isaac and his crew take care of all your iPhones, iPads, laptops. 1279 49th Street. Call them. 718-677-4343. 718-677-4343. New York iPhone Repairs.
Hello, this is Richard Allen, founder of JCC Watch. We're inviting the Jewish community to come out on Monday, May 11th, 2015, to protest the promotion of BDS groups within the UJA Federation. Join us at the UJA Federation building, 130 East 59th Street, this coming Monday, 5 to 7:30, to protest the fact that the UJA Federation gave over $1 million to a George Soros front group, Jewish Funders for Justice. Also a fact, the president of the UJA Federation, Elisa Doctoroff, is a major funder of the New Israel Fund, a group that finances the boycott, divestment, and sanctions movement against Israel. Fact, the BDS groups that call for a boycott of Israel companies like SodaStream and Achava Products are going to be marching in this year's Israel Day Parade. We call on the community to come out and protest. Bring your shofars. We're going to give out over 101 shofars. It's going to be the largest number of shofars ever sounded in unison in the world. Join us, again, Monday, May 11th, 5 to 7:30 p.m. at the UJA Federation, 130 East 59th Street, New York City. We hope to see you there.
NORPAC's mission to Washington on May 13th is a single-day advocacy event to promote stronger U.S.-Israel relations directly with members of Congress and their staff. Join over 1,000 people as they advocate on issues such as the Iran nuclear agreement and funding to Iron Dome, round-trip bus transportation to Washington, D.C., 3 glatt kosher meals, training, and all scheduling materials are included with registration. To register, visit www.norpac.net or call 201-788-5133. That's NORPAC.net or call 201-788-5133. Discover the computer store for yourself, located in 269 Lee Avenue between Wallabat Street and Flushing Avenue in Williamsburg and 4812 13th Avenue in Borough Park. You will find a customer service staff that is dedicated to meeting all your computer-related technology needs. At the computer store, you will find everything from computers to computer nuts and bolts, including printers, inks, and toners, and a full line of networking and computer accessories, and a wide selection of the latest smartphone accessories, including cell phone refills and carriers, including Page Plus, H2O, Red Pocket, Simple, Mobile, Ultra Mobile, Go Smart, T-Mobile, and all the major brands. You should feel comfortable using their dedicated room and computer kiosks, where you will find it easy to get your work done at their kiosks. Discover how their knowledgeable customer service is here to help you at every corner and to answer any questions you may have. If you are having any computer trouble, whether it's a virus or any other trouble, simply bring your computer in, and the computer store staff will do their best to quickly get your computer back up and running as quickly as possible. Sometimes it's even fixed in the same day. So what are you waiting for? Call them today and discover the amazing customer service at the computer store by calling 718-486-TECH. That's 718-486-TECH today.
Join Yeshiva Gedolah of the Bronx for their annual dinner on May 18th at the Torah V'Yira Hall, located at 5411 4th Hamilton Parkway in Brooklyn. Reception begins at 6 p.m. Honorees include Rabbi Benjamin and Meira Yubin, Kenny and Barbara Gilnick, as well as Reuven and Devorah Dorfman. Rav Shaya Cohn from Yeshiva Zichron Aryeh will be the featured guest speaker. Dinner is in memory of Louis Atlas's beloved wife Beverly and Ruth Offenbach, daughter of Susan Belasco. Yeshiva Gdol LeBronx is much more than just dealing with troubled teenagers, but also helps place young adults and young men dealing with drug addictions, including helping young men find detox, rehab therapy, and helping find them jobs and helping place them in other yeshivas both here in New York and throughout the tri-state area. Yeshiva Gdol LeBronx has a rescue center as well as a GED program to help our youth succeed. Any questions on how to get involved in yeshiva and as well as to attend the dinner, contact Yitzi Rossman at 305-968-0510. That's 305-968-0510 or ygotb1@gmail.com.
Spring is here. Look your best. Be ready for the beach, the pool, parties, and tropical destinations. Start your endermology and pseudotonic slimming treatments for inch loss and cellulite reduction so that when it's time for all the fun, all eyes will find you. Call us. Private exclusive clothing tour with discount for the first 5 people who call. Cellulite, Endermology, and Slimming Medispa. 37th and Park Avenue location. www.cellulite-endermology-center.com. 212-684-2229.
Coming to the grand opening of New York iPhone Repair at 1279 49th Street near the B11 bus. Let Isaac and his crew take care of all your iPhones, iPads, laptops. 1279 49th Street. Call them. 718-677-4343. 718-677-4343. New York iPhone Repairs. Welcome back to the program. I'm Zev Brenner, and we have live in our studio, we have Satmar Zionists for Israel, and we're going to get to your phone. A lot of people calling in, and if you're on the line, so be patient. We are going to get to you. Yoel Weiss is with us. He's from Rockland County. He has Chocolate Wise in Brooklyn. You can buy his products in various stores. He's a Satmar Zionist for Israel. Shmili, Barmi is in construction, and they're both planning to make Aliyah, part of a group called Zoreach, Hasidim for settling the land of Israel. And we're taking your phone calls, 1-888-NYC Radio, or you can email us, zev@talklinecommunications.com. Let me take a couple email questions before we get to our buzzing phone lines. Here's somebody sending from his iPad. Kol hakavod to these 2 men who are breath of fresh air to Yiddishkeit. What is the reaction from their families and friends to their love for Israel? Shmili.
My family respects me. I think if you accept yourself for what you do, then everybody else will accept you. Just that sometimes when you do something and you don't feel you're doing the right thing, then people won't accept you. But if you know you're doing the right thing and you're not doing something new to Klal Yisrael, like W said before, we daven every day for this. We want this. I mean, it's ingrained in our blood. So when you do something great, then everybody will accept you.
Okay, and we'll take another email question before we get to our phone calls. And here is a fascinating show. Curious if your guests are aware that the modern state of Israel was responsible for thousands of Jews being led astray of religion. Even today, there is much debate about the role of religion in Israel. Hence, would your guests identify with the modern state of Israel as supporters or just lovers of the land of Israel? There is a distinction. Shmili again. Okay.
Both. First of all, the love for Eretz Yisrael and support of the government, because if you want to change anything in the government, if you think the government is too left, or if you think the government is not religious, the only way to change it is to move up there, get involved, and try to changing it. I mean,
so would you join the army, for example, or
if I'm able to? Yes. I mean,
you vote in the Knesset, obviously.
I'll vote in the Knesset.
That's what Joseph wants to know, if you vote in the Knesset. Okay.
I'll vote in the Knesset, and I truly believe that with the intermarriage rate in America, and between America and Israel, you see that in America you have 60-70% intermarriage rate between the Reform and the secular Jews. In Israel, you don't have that. So in Israel, you have most people marrying with secular Jews, but their grandkids, you see right now, the people who made Aliyah 50, 60 years ago when they're secular, their grandkids are becoming Baal Tshuvas. Hence in America, they're lost because they marry into the Goyim.
Email, and then we're going to take phone conversation. Oh, you want to say something? Go ahead.
I just wanted to mention that I wanted to mention if the problems with Yiddishkeit, how the Medina was created, doesn't mean that Hashem can bring a geula, a Eretz Yisrael, a Mashiach through that. Hashem has no problem to bring Mashiach from Lot ibn Yosef or from Yehuda v'Tamar, which Ris and the whole Malchus Beis David was descendant from.
What you're basically saying, for those that don't understand, that this is what Rabbi Tachtel in his book Ema Banus Meir brings out, that from impure beginnings you had, for example,
Right.
from the Messiah. Holy Messiah comes from incongruous beginnings. You had the relationship of Judah with a woman of ill repute, which leads to the birth of David and Mashiach. So you would think that Mashiach would come from the holiest soul, but no, purposely done under the radar screen. And his theory is that those are non-religious or anti-religious are ones who built the state of Israel because they fall under the radar screen. I'm giving you just a brief synopsis of Ema Ban Mismecha.
Right. I'm saying that Hashem's Chedushim, how we would bring a geula, is not limited to one's opinion of the perfect story that he wrote down. Hashem has no problem bringing it from whichever angle he decides to, obviously.
And as we know, we have two Mashiach. We have Mashiach ben David, Mashiach ben Yosef. He just mentioned Mashiach ben David that comes from Riz, from Lot. We have Mashiach ben Yosef too. If you realize, Yosef married Osnas. Osnas says it was the daughter of Dinah with Shem. Shem had relations with Dinah, and they had a kid.
But that's not clear because according to the Medrash, he could also have been. It could have been. I believe that Yosef could have married somebody. I'll come to me who it was.
Okay,
But it's not clear from the Pesukim. But the other ones with Yehuda and Tamar, it's certainly very, very clear. You're listening to Talkline over WMCA 570 AM, New York. And WJPR 1640 AM, Highland Park, Edison, New Jersey. Online, talklinecommunications.com. Don't forget a 24-hour day listen line. You can listen anywhere. 212-769-1925, extension 301. We're just pausing for station ID. And then your phone calls right after the station ID. That's you can call us, and don't forget you're emailing us at zev@talklinecommunications.com. That's zev@talklinecommunications.com or 1-888-NYC radio. You can certainly we'll take your phone calls, your questions. But first, station ID, which they're firing up as we're speaking right now, 1-888-NYC radio.
And then, as far as my life being a pause, I picked up exactly where I left off, and I'm continuing to be successful in life.
For a friend who's in a similar position, Eldon has a tip.
Okay, we are back. We're taking your phone calls, and let's go to Suri in Williamsburg. Suri in Williamsburg, you have a question for our guests, Yoel Weiss and Shmili Barmi. They're part of a group of Satmar Zionists for Israel, part of Zoreach Hasidim for settling in the land of Israel. Go ahead, Suri in Williamsburg.
All right, I actually have an issue, first off, with them calling themselves Satmar Zionists. I mean, with all the respect, they're, of course, entitled to their opinion. But calling themselves Satmar, I would think that they should at least be familiar with what, in the second Zeal Moshe, just at least, even before going on the air and claiming to be Satmar, they should at least know the ideology and be familiar with it. Just because they apparently are entirely clueless to that end of it.
Well, sir, what they're saying was in the Satmar yeshivas they attended, they were told that,
indeed,
but they never learned Yoel Moshe, never learned the work. They never gave them a reason why. They were just told to be anti. That's what they're saying.
I'm surprised they totally did not get the reason, but I will agree that the curriculum was quite remiss and not covering all the material. But most homes did supplement it, but they did comment on the fact that it was called kafir, which it was, but it wasn't it wasn't the land of Israel. They called themselves ISC, and indeed, being a Satmar Chosed does not negate the fact of being an ISC. I mean, my entire family right now is in Eretz Israel and loving the land very, very much. Being Satmar means being anti the secular state of Israel, the messianic aspect of what it was. The idea that when the state of Israel was formed, it had a messianic element. It had an idea of we're liberating ourselves, and it was a very secular mentality. That was what the Rabbi Yoel was against. It wasn't against Eretz Israel itself. Goodness gracious, they've got a huge, vibrant Satmar community in Eretz Israel who love the land dearly.
Shmili, you want to tackle that?
Yes. First of all, you are right. We are not Satmar Zionists. We are...
I'm having a hard time hearing him.
Okay, we're going to... Okay, try again now.
I'm saying, first of all, you are right. We are not Satmar Zionists. We are religious Zionists. What Yoel Weiss said before, that every Yid in the world is actually a Zionist. Now, you can call yourself OFCN, or you can call yourself... pro-Zionist government, but we are all Zionists in a sense.
And the reason I said Yoeli here, I said we call ourselves Satmar. Look, I'm named Yoeli after the Satmar Rebbe, and I adore the Satmar Rebbe. He was a big tzaddik, and that's why I think Zev says I'm a Satmar Rebbe, because I grew up there, and thanks to Satmar, I'm here physically today. But yeah, Zionism, I think all Satmar are Zionism. Who's not a Zionist?
Okay, thank you for your phone. We have a lot of calls. I believe this is, let's take Yosef in Brooklyn. Yosef in Brooklyn, your question for our guests. Please try to keep it to the point. We're going to get as many of your calls as we can. Yosef in Brooklyn.
Hi, hello. First of all, the paradoxical part that Sherry mentioned about being Satmar Zionists, by saying that basically Jews for Jesus is basically also they're Jews, and
are you comparing our guests to Jews for Jesus?
No, not at all. But paradoxically, yes. It sort of came off like Satmar Zionists. Basically, you're saying that all the Jews are Zionists, and Zionism is from when God promised the land for Abraham, which is not true because we've been in Mitzrayim.
Hold on, he didn't promise the land to Abraham?
Of course he did, but we were in Mitzrayim before. And this was a goal that God said that we'll be in. And then when we didn't behave ourselves in the land, we were thrown out of there.
So God brought us back.
When did he brought us? He didn't bring us back yet.
He brought us back 100,000 before.
The B'nai Ephraim also made a merida in the Galus Mitzrayim, and they were killed in the desert by the Plishtim.
Right, but we're not killed. We're not killed. We're flourishing. We have 6 million Jews in Israel right now.
Plus, more than 6 million
Jews
now.
Basically, the ideology of Zionism was the merida in all the Galus, and before you go and as you yourself mentioned that you didn't go through the Yoel Moshe, please go and do so before you make such a movement and move out and make such a nice.
But you got to understand that we cannot live right now based on 70 years ago.
Read all the Beredim that he wrote, the problems with the state, and then go and say how much you love it and settle there.
Let me ask you a question. I'm curious to know a question. Why don't they teach in the Satmar Yeshiva? I was found that fascinating.
Of course they do.
And like I said at the beginning, Yossi, what's your name? Yossi?
If you didn't
Yosef, yeah.
didn't take your time, yeah.
Yosef, I'm not here to argue about the Satmar shit and about Satmar Rebbe. We are not here for that. We are here just to.
Neither am I.
We are here just to tell you that Eretz Yisrael is beautiful. Eretz Yisrael is amazing.
I know
We can all live there, no matter if you are a Zionist, if you're not a Zionist. Forget about that. We're just talking about mitzvahs, yeshiv, Eretz Yisrael that it says in the Torah so many times.
Have you been through the supplement of Yeshiva Eretz Yisrael and Moshe?
I like I said, I never learned of Yoel Moshe. I'm not even talking
So go
about
ahead.
that. Why should I go learn something? Because why should I go learn something that's anti when I'm very pro?
You want to go and be mekayim this holy big mitzvah of Yeshua. There's a beautiful writing in there of the Satmar Rebbe, and
I can tell you,
Yoli.
And one of you guys named after him.
Yossi, I can tell you that.
Hold on, Yoli's going to respond to you. Go
I want
ahead.
to tell you that the Bala Mashpiyim that I follow, I know Shmili are following the same Bala Mashpiyim, and any other aspect and area of my life, which is Ramata Frank, Blaise Brody from Breslev, they're all claiming different than what you just said, that it's a mitzvah to go and we should all go. So there is Gedolim that are currently living and are advising people to go. Satmar Rebbe was also a Gudel, and there are people who are supposed has to follow.
You have to
know
who you're identifying with. That's all I'm saying.
He's saying he's
exactly
identifying with. Anyway, I appreciate your phone call. Thank you. We have a lot of people calling. Let's go to Avram. He says he's calling from Chevron Hills. I don't know where that is, but okay. Oh, okay. Go ahead, Avram.
Hello. Hi. Shalom. Here it's 8 o'clock in the morning. I just have a comment to the show and to the callers. I'm not Satmar. I grew up Vishnitz. I live in the southern Hebron Hills in one of the farming yeshuvim. I'm actually right now on a farm, milking farm. Okay, about Satmar. Satmar Rebbe had a war against the Zionists, the establishing of the state of Israel, and he was right. It was a time for war, because if not, it was right after there was a depression right after the Holocaust, like a spiritual depression. And if he wouldn't have fighted it, then Judaism could have gone extinguished or destroyed. I don't know. But since then, two things have changed. I said it many times. The two things that have changed: Satmar is not the same Satmar, and the Zionim are not the same Zionim. So the war is not relevant anymore.
So you're saying the Satmar are not the same and the Zionim are not the same?
Yeah.
That sounds like the battle between the Hasidim and Snagdim. They say the Hasidim aren't the same, and the Snagdim are not the same. Everybody has changed over the course of time.
Pretty much today, actually, the Hasidim of today are the Snagdim of back then.
You're saying good, yes.
You can't fight an old war in recent times. That's one thing. The other thing is, I started learning in Masechet Ketuvot, Daf Kifid Aleph, which the whole face of Satmar is like the idea of Satmar is based on the Shalosh Shvuot. It's a machlokes between Rav Zayda and Rav Yehuda. Rav Yehuda was the Rav, and Rav Zayda Rav Yehuda held that it's not allowed to come to
No, they were only talking actually, Avram. They were talking about the Klei Sharis. If you see the Gemara on top. A second. Let me finish one thing.
Let me finish this. When I learned the Gemara, I saw something very interesting, because the Shalosh Shavuot, who brings that opinion? It's actually Reb Zayda, that he was holding that we should come to Eretz Yisrael.
That's right.
So basically, the whole Shalosh Shavuot that Satmar is building, that you're not allowed to come to Eretz Yisrael, when you learn it correctly inside of the Gemara, it's the opposite opinion. It's the opinion that you should come to Eretz Yisrael.
Great point.
Good. Now, and you're listening to us where in Chevron Hills? We're listening online.
Yeah. Well, I was listening to my phone.
Oh, okay, fine. We have a listen line.
So.
Avram is one of the great contributors to Zoreach.
Avram, thank you for sharing that with us, and continue your farming. What time is it in the morning there? What
time? And by the way, something to Shmili. Israel is a little bit bigger than just Yerushalayim. You can come live anywhere in Israel.
I know. I just love Yerushalayim.
Listen, he's going to have a construction company, and you're always going to have the chocolate company there.
I'll have a nice house in Yerushalayim, and maybe up north a little cabin.
Okay, thank you for your call. We have a surprise.
We're all waiting for you.
Thank you. Okay, let us go to Lipa Schmelzer. Lipa Schmelzer, good vach. Thank you for joining us. How are you doing, Lipa?
How are you, Zev? What's going on?
You tell me. I haven't spoken in a while. How are things going with you?
Baruch Hashem, very good. It can be better.
Shalom, Lipa. Yoli W here.
Shalom, shalom.
Yoel, how are you? How are you?
I'm so excited you're calling in. Everybody has to know we're davening by your shul. Tell us who making a Misha Bayrak every week. And the Blemmer, tell us.
We make Misha Bayrak with the only shul in I think in the entire world who make Misha Bayrak for Israel and the Israeli army in Yiddish.
Ooh. How does it go? Is there a song to it or?
Not yet a song, you know. By that time, people smell the hearing already. But we say it in Yiddish, you know. Da habe ich so gegeben Schmieren mit der Fluche von dem Militär und es ist Ruhe, soll nicht schubben kann Strauchlingen, soll nicht geschädigt werden. And I also do Misha Bayrak for the government of the United States.
That's right.
In Yiddish.
In Yiddish.
All right. You can give us a sampling.
The Irish is geholfen, Avru Mitzig Yankov, so uphieten, the American government, das ist a Malchus, so Chesed, so Warte können geben, gibt's für ihn, in dem Geben a Stuhl, und da kommt da.
Wir sollen uns gerne helfen, nach oben gehen auf das Ruhe.
Shmili has that. He has that.
Sounds very interesting. It's very. How many people daven together on Shabbos with you, Reb Lipa?
It depends. You know, I used to tell people. I used to go by how many congregants I have. I have like in my phone book 100 congregants. But now I'm Baruch Hashem. You know, we grow in life. I can tell people sometimes I have 30 people in shul, and sometimes I have 10 people, and it's all the same choshev.
That's a very good way of looking at it. And you may have a little bit less if enough of them make Aliyah.
If they'll make Aliyah, maybe we'll open up for Imam Shul in Israel.
Lipa, what about Givat Zev?
What?
What about Givat Zev?
Maybe we'll do Givat Zev. I have a little dream to be there, to have a little summer house in Israel. We'll see if I can be able to afford it or not.
Well, I know a good construction person who can maybe help you build it.
Who? Sam wants to be. He wants to build there.
He wants to build. He's getting ready to build. He wants to build a Bayis Nama B'Yisrael, literally.
These guys are so geschmack and lebendig, you know. When I built my shul, I had no idea what gift Hashem gave me. He gave me a gift. These two guys are like fire. See what's going on there?
They're on fire too, and they're inspiring other people too. They speak with a passion and a love for the land of Israel, which I find.
You know, they wake up with seeking every morning. These guys.
Wow.
Terrific.
It's gewaldig. It's geschmack. It's got to be. We do something right.
Absolutely doing well. But Lipa, I need a song for this group. I also need maybe a song of you doing in Yiddish for the blessing for the Medina or for the state. I think that'll be
We'll make a song also. No problem. We'll make a song in Yiddish, Bli Neder, for the Shmir and Yisrael.
I think the song Mizrach, Marav, I think that's about Israel. Which Mizrach Marav else will you talk about, Lipa?
Of course it's about Israel, but that's Hebrew. He wants something in Yiddish.
Right. That'll be one song. Then we have a Yiddish one. That's the only shul in the world that does it in Yiddish. That's unique. And now we have to have a song where other people can participate and do it too.
100%. I'm going to work on it.
And we want to
premiere. I got to go to sleep because tomorrow morning I'm singing for Hask, 11 o'clock. They have a marathon in Brooklyn.
Ooh, okay. So
I got to do an appearance over there. So you keep on doing your show, and I'm ready to build up a shul in Israel together.
Amen. Amen. Lipa, thank you. Yeah, kol hakavod, Lipa.
Thank you so much.
Good. The great Lipa Schmelzer here on the Talk Line Communications Network. When we come back, we continue our conversation with Yoel Weiss and Shmili Barmi. They are Satmar Zionists for Israel. The group is called Zoreach, Hasidim for settling the land of Israel. We continue taking your phone calls at 1-888-NYC Radio, 1-888-692-7234. You want to email us, zev@talklinecommunications.com. If you're on the line, we're going to get to you. We're going to get to your emails as well right after the following messages. Don't go away. Stay tuned. This is the Talkline Communications Network. Coming to the grand opening of New York iPhone Repair at 1279 49th Street near the B11 bus. Let Isaac and his crew take care of all your iPhones, iPads, laptops. 1279 49th Street. Call them. 718-677-4343. 718-677-4343. New York iPhone Repairs. Join Yeshiva Gedolah of the Bronx for their annual dinner on May 18th at the Torah V'Yira Hall, located at 5411 4th Hamilton Parkway in Brooklyn. Reception begins at 6 p.m. Honorees include Rabbi Benjamin and Meira Yubin, Kenny and Barbara Gilnick, as well as Reuven and Devorah Dorfman. Rav Shaya Cohn from Yeshiva Zichron Aryeh will be the featured guest speaker. Dinner is in memory of Louis Atlas's beloved wife Beverly and Ruth Offenbach, daughter of Susan Belasco. Yeshiva Gedolah of the Bronx is much more than just dealing with troubled teenagers, but also helps place young adults and young men dealing with drug addictions, including helping young men find detox, rehab therapy, and helping find them jobs, and helping place them in other yeshivas both here in New York and throughout the tri-state area. Yeshiva Gedolah of the Bronx has a rescue center as well as a GED program to help our youth succeed. Any questions on how to get involved in yeshiva and as well as to attend the dinner, contact Yitzi Rossman at 305-968-0510. That's 305-968-0510 or ygotb1@gmail.com. If you're planning to travel anywhere this summer, the first trip you should make is to call Supreme Travel. We constantly use Supreme Travel ourselves and count on them for their expertise and advice on the best options and value. It's not only about getting the lowest fare, it's also about being there to help you when issues come up that can ruin your plans. Supreme Travel is always available to make sure things run smoothly when problems with airlines do arise. Of course, Supreme Travel takes care of your other travel needs, so when you land there, there'll be a rental car waiting for you, a cell phone in hand, and a hotel room for you to sleep. Supreme Travel also offers GPS, SMS messaging, international calling, and more for as little as $5 per day. For students going to Israel, they have a 12-month ticket plus one free change allowed at a special rate. So call them, 212-278-8268. That's 212-278-8268, and begin your journey with Supreme Travel for supreme satisfaction.
Hello, this is Richard Allen, founder of JCC Watch. We're inviting the Jewish community to come out on Monday, May 11, 2015, to protest the promotion of BDS groups within the UJA Federation. Join us at the UJA Federation Building, 130 East 59th Street, this coming Monday, 5 to 7:30, to protest the fact that the UJA Federation gave over $1 million to a George Soros front group, Jewish Funders for Justice. Also a fact, the president of the UJA Federation, Elisa Doctoroff, is a major funder of the New Israel Fund, a group that finances the boycott, divestment, and sanctions movement against Israel. Fact, the BDS groups that call for a boycott of Israel companies like SodaStream and Achava Products are going to be marching in this year's Israel Day Parade. We call on the community to come out and protest. Bring your shofars. We're going to give out over 101 shofars. It's going to be the largest number of shofars ever sounded in unison in the world. Join us, again, Monday, May 11th, 5 to 7:30 p.m. at the UJA Federation, 130 East 59th Street, New York City. We hope to see you there.
New York company is seeking an ambitious person for door-to-door sales with great commission pay. Easy training, no computer or experience needed. Work on your own hours desired. Call immediately, 646-796-8296. That's 646-796-8296 or 347-489-0659. That's 347-489-0659. If you're looking for a great position, call now, 646-796-8296. Come spend Shavuos at the all-new Long Beach Hotel with Young Israel of Long Beach. Enjoy gourmet glatt kosher catering by the hotel's exclusive Kadosh caterers. All davening, shiurim, tikkun leil Shavuos, and programming to be held at Young Israel of Long Beach. Come meet in the city by the sea, stroll the historic Long Beach Boardwalk, and enjoy a memorable Shavuos with a warm and welcoming community. Rabbi Mark Angel is renowned scholar in residence. Young Israel of Long Beach rabbis giving lectures include the Moreh the Asra, Rabbi Dr. Chaim Waxak, Rabbi Chaim Axelrod, Rabbi Yaakov Weisenberg. Have your weekend Sheva Brachas and Bar Mitzvahs at the Long Beach Hotel and enjoy their surf restaurant. They're at 405 East Broadway in Long Beach. Call them, 516-544-4444. That's 516-544-4444. Enjoy Shavuos at the all-new Long Beach Hotel. Coming to the grand opening of New York iPhone Repair at 1279 49th Street near the B11 bus. Let Isaac and his crew take care of all your iPhones, iPads, laptops. 1279 49th Street. Call them, 718-677-4343, 718-677-4343, New York iPhone Repairs. Welcome back to the program. I'm Zev Brenner. We're with a group of Satmar Zionists for Israel, and they claim that they have people in Williamsburg and in Monsey and in Monroe and other areas that are part of this organization. It's called Zoreach, which is Hasidim for Settling the Land of Israel. Live in our studio, Yoel Weiss. His company is called Chocolate Wise when he's not here on the radio. They sell it in the stores as well. Shmili Barmi is a construction expert and soon to be building in Israel, but building upstate New York. We're taking your phone calls, 1-888-NYC Radio, or online. You can email us, zev@talklinecommunications.com. Before we get to our phone line, let's have an email from Moshe in Las Vegas. And he says, our oath was not to go up together as a nation and fight to take over Israel from the non-Jews. We were handed Israel willingly by the victorious allies following World War I. It's actually World War II. I've never understood Rabbi Yoel's opposition being based on that false narrative that never occurred. Now, even if Rabbi Yoel Zichron Livracha wanted Israel to be given over to non-Jews, he never said to give Israel away to overwhelmingly genocidal Arab Muslims. So why do so many Satmar mistakenly think they did think this and that this terrible idea is what should be done regardless of the halachas about protecting Jewish communities, which includes armoring and go out to fight on Shabbos, even when enemies are pretending to come for peaceful purposes? Comment. Yoli.
Saying that this is a very strong point that we're not supposed to take the land, but we were given the land. And, people think Hashem is going to bring a geula, it's going to drop an atom bomb, and Mashiach is here. Mashiach is a process. And the fact that it's there and it came and the nations has given it to us after 2,000 years is who else does it if not God? Who else does things if not Hashem? So Hashem gave it to us. Thank you, Hashem, for the land of Israel. You're saying great. What's his name, the guy in
Las Vegas.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yes, go ahead, Shmili.
I would say that. It's on? Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say that I don't remember where I saw it, but basically he says that the people who destroyed the Beis Hamikdash and the people who destroyed Eretz Yisrael, those are the people who are going to have to rebuild it. So what we see right now, maybe certain people will say, okay, I would love for the government to be more religious, which the government is more religious right now as in 60 years ago. It's far more right, especially with the new coalition.
Look at the growth of Torah in Israel.
Look at the growth of Torah, exactly. The biggest Torah supporter in the world, the Israeli government.
The irony is I think David Ben-Gurion thought that when he gave the exemption for the Torah students not to be part of the Israeli army, he figured that this would be just one generation they're gone. The irony is that some of that thinking of the secular Zionists are gone, but the Torah movement has grown by leaps and bounds in Israel, so that's the irony of the situation. Here's a quick email, and then I have a lot of people calling. Jacob writes, I'd like to ask your guests whether they would join the Israeli Defense Force in order to defend the land of Israel. Do they also support legislation to determine the Jewishness of Israel, as well as prohibiting the sale of non-kosher meat? I'm asking this since, per their explanation, they are pro-Israel because it says so in the Torah.
I would say if I would be eligible to go to the army, I'm 34, and if I'm eligible and they will want me, I would gladly go. I think we're all in this together, and I don't think one Jew should be sacrificing their life and the next one shouldn't. Torah obviously is also as important as fighting, so there has to be some understanding to that. In terms of the other things, what he mentioned
about the legislation for the Jewishness of Israel about prohibiting non-kosher meats.
Yeah, these are all things that are in progress, and I definitely support these things, and that's why we have to be involved and vote for the right MKs and the right prime ministers and the right influential people to bring these things across.
I actually disagree. If you consider Israel right now as a democracy, then you cannot prohibit anything. I mean, Mashiach is not here yet. So right now we cannot prohibit people of driving a Shabbos or eating not kosher.
No, but they don't have the buses running in places like Yerushalayim on Shabbos.
Yeah, but if you call yourself a democracy, then you cannot do that.
We can't tell people, but you can make, for example, you can take your own car, but you can't take a public bus because publicly Israel has to adhere by that. They ban, I think, chametz in certain areas on Pesach too, so they do that.
Actually, I was there for Pesach, and I was Erev Pesach looking for that quick fix of chametz before. I was going around Machne Yehuda and the Shuk, and was driving around and looking for chametz. There was not one restaurant selling any chametz there.
That's exactly what I'm
amazing.
Saying. That's what I'm saying. Let's go to Rivka in Williamsburg. Rivka in Williamsburg, thank you for waiting about almost a half hour. Thank you, Rivka. Go ahead, please. Your question for our guest.
I'm just trying to figure out. I was educated in Williamsburg and Satmar, and I grew up in Satmar all the time. But I just realized that Zoreach, I'm a Weiss of the Zoreach group member, and I just realized that we are considered a little secluded, like Satmar is differentiated between the rest of the world. So I'm just wondering. I started wondering why a Satmar person can't just take a Daf Yomi sheet or Deshu or whatever else he wants to do. So I realized that this is all politics, and there's such a thing as branching out and building a life in Israel. I do want to mention that we're going to open a women's league, a women's group. We're going to have a conference next week from a lady coming from Israel. She's going to talk about Israel, and I do feel that the Satmar, the Rebbe, whatever he was telling us, and we learned a lot about Zionism, and I do have a certain, I recognize what Zionism means. To me, it means that they were building a government, and they had kibbutzim after the war, after the Holocaust, and the Satmar Rebbe was trying to protect his Hasidim. But if he would live in our generation, then he definitely would be pro-Israel, and he would allow his Hasidim.
So you're saying that the Satmar Rebbe was
Exactly.
alive today, he'd have a different position vis-a-vis the state of Israel, is what you're saying?
Definitely.
Okay.
That's what I would assume.
Okay, thank you for
At
that
my
thought.
point of stage, I would assume
Which is
that
what
he would.
I think somebody, the Yoel Shmili said that all. I think Yoel, you said that before too, that in your opinion, if the Satmar Rebbe was alive today, he'd have a different opinion about the state of Israel.
Yeah, I was thinking that at the time it was important in order to balance the hype of the leftist agenda, and it was an important job that Satmar Rebbe did, and thanks to him, a lot of things were preserved the right way. That's what I was mentioning. And thank you, Rifki, for calling. Thank you for the chizik.
Okay, thank you, Rifki,
You're
for
welcome.
that. Let's go to
Okay,
Chaim.
let me give you my phone number if anybody's interested in Women's League. I have a cell phone. We're going to have a meeting the first meeting next week, and anybody who wants to contact 718-804-3800. You can WhatsApp me, and we're going to have a meeting, and we're trying to
Give out
open
the
up
number
a
again,
women's
because you said it very fast. Give out the number one more time if people want to
Okay,
contact.
so anyone wants to contact me, the best way is through WhatsApp. If you want, you can make a phone call 718-804-3800.
Thank you. Let's go to
Thank
Chaim. Chaim in Williamsburg. Thank you for waiting. Go ahead, Chaim in Williamsburg.
Oh.
Yes.
Hello,
Chaim.
do you hear me?
I hear you. Go ahead, Chaim. Quick question or comment.
I'm in Midwood. I'm not in Williamsburg.
Okay, fine.
I'm
You
in
moved.
Westwood.
Go ahead.
Okay. Everything these students are doing is correct. And the main thing is to create a movement between Satmar Zionists, all those that don't vote, to get them to vote. To get them to vote, and the Koyach HaTorah will be much stronger in the Knesset.
That's correct. That's what I said before. If you want to change something in the government, you want to make the government more religious, do something about it. Go out and vote. True that. You're saying good.
This was the shit of Rab Reuven Grozovsky. Satmar Rebbe was masped him when he was nifta. Rab Reuven Grozovsky held that by not voting, you mamsul Russia al Tzaddik. If you don't vote, then the Russia takes over. And things will be much worse in Eretz by not voting.
Okay, thank you for your phone. We appreciate some really good comment. Let's go to Shmuel K. from Brooklyn. Shmuel K. from Brooklyn. You have a question or comment?
Hi, I'm sorry if I start off you, but, I'm a friend. I come from Achlot Beit David. My father told me this many years ago. And we have a record going back to Rashi, but my father always told me that my name is pronounced Koenig, it's not Koenig, whatever.
So your question or comment? We have a lot of people waiting. So your question or comment is?
My question is, I really am very excited about what's going on now, and I believe what you say about the times have changed. I think that's very true. I think that.
Okay, good. I appreciate it. I think times have changed, and thank you for your phone call. We're going to move on to Yossi in Borough Park. Yossi in Borough Park.
Yeah, quick two questions for them. Number one, being that Yoel says he has a store in Williamsburg, I mean, I really feel for him because tomorrow these big placards and they go on boycott. I know the way these things work. There's educated to that, number one.
No. They like my chocolates and they like Jews. They're good people in Williamsburg. Don't underestimate my customers.
I'm not underestimating your quality. I would buy.
My customers, don't underestimate my customers. They like me. They like the store. They like Eretz Yisrael.
If you know Williamsburg correctly, if you remember what happened to our good friend Bill Road, what they did to him, I just hope you're not going to have a repeat. That's number one.
Hashem is watching over W.
Okay.
This is not a debate. This is
okay,
just.
you quickly finish your point because we're going to move on. Yes.
Yeah, number two is, you said if Rebbe was around, it's all different. The current Satmar Rebbe is really are holding his opinion the same way. So how you answer that? I mean, they're the legacy, and they don't agree that today is different.
Good point, that you...
I want to clarify something. People need to be clear that this is not to make people Zionists, but to rekindle our love for the land. And even the Satmar Rebbe Yoel Moshe said that it's a mitzvah to live there. So it's not that we're coming here to trying to prove you that you have to do. I mean, we're just rekindling the love that we originally have in ourselves, but we don't know about it.
That every tzaddik ever had, every Jew ever had for the last 2,000 years, we're waiting and yearning. So, yes, agreed.
Anyway, thank you for your phone call. We're going to take a break. When we come back, more of your phone calls. 1-888-NYC-RADIO, 888-NYC-RADIO, or 1-888-692-7234. Our guest, Yoel Weiss, he is, and Shmili Barmi, they're part of a group, Satmar Zionists for Israel. Actually, there are some that call themselves Zionists, but they have a love for Israel. Zoreach is the organization, Hasidim for settling the land of Israel. And we'll take your email questions as well, zev@talklinecommunications.com. Again, our number is 1-888-692-7234 or 1-888-NYC-RADIO. And we'll get to many of your phone calls, many of your comments. If you are part of the Satmar community or not, we'd love to hear from you. We only have a few minutes more to the broadcast. 1-888-NYC-RADIO. 1 week from tonight, we have the URA Radiothon beginning at 10 p.m., going all the way to 4 a.m. We're going to be right back. Don't go away. Stay tuned. Coming to the grand opening of New York iPhone Repair at 1279 49th Street near the B11 bus. Let Isaac and his crew take care of all your iPhones, iPads, laptops. 1279 49th Street. Call them. 718-677-4343. 718-677-4343. New York iPhone Repairs. Join Yeshiva Gedolah of the Bronx for their annual dinner on May 18th at the Torah V'Yira Hall, located at 5411 4th Hamilton Parkway in Brooklyn. Reception begins at 6 p.m. Honorees include Rabbi Benjamin and Meira Yubin, Kenny and Barbara Gilnick, as well as Reuven and Devorah Dorfman. Rosh Shaya Cohn from Yeshiva Zichron Aryeh will be the featured guest speaker. Dinner is in memory of Louis Atlas's beloved wife Beverly and Ruth Offenbach, daughter of Susan Belasco. Yeshiva Gedolah of the Bronx is much more than just dealing with troubled teenagers, but also helps place young adults and young men dealing with drug addictions, including helping young men find detox, rehab therapy, and helping find them jobs, and helping place them in other yeshivas both here in New York and throughout the tri-state area. Yeshiva Gedolah of the Bronx has a rescue center as well as a GED program to help our youth succeed. Any questions on how to get involved in yeshiva and as well as to attend the dinner, contact Yitzi Rossman at 305-968-0510. That's 305-968-0510 or ygotb1@gmail.com. Do you need extra money? Are you looking to make extra income? Well, Wind Energy and Solar has a great opportunity for you. No experience necessary. May is a great month. They have a super promotion in effect. Join as an agent for a special low introductory price of only $99 and earn close to $2,000 bonuses plus monthly residuals. They'll manage your utility rates so you're always competitive at low fixed rates. Here's some great residential and commercial rates you can offer. Con Edison, 6.37 cents. National Grid, 0.38 cents. NYSEG, 3.83 cents. Sign up today. Call Wind Solar and Energy at 1-844-WIN-ENERGY. That's 1-844-WIN-ENERGY. Don't delay. Call now and take advantage of this special promotion. 1-844-WIN-ENERGY.
My name is Dr. Irving Leibovitz. I am privileged to serve as the dinner chairman for the upcoming 93rd National Dinner of Agudas Yisrael of America, which will take place on Sunday, May 10th at the New York Hilton Hotel. The dinner celebrates a year of achievement and will honor prominent Askanim who so ably served the Aguda and Klal Yisrael. It promises to be a memorable event. For reservations, please call 212-797-8177 or email dinner@agudatisrael.org.
Looking for a whiter, brighter smile for your whitening treatment and for almost everything else that a dentist does, You want to go to Dr. Aaron Braun, and I'll tell you why. In one 45-minute appointment, he took care of 3 cavities and a root canal as painlessly as possible, or reading my x-ray to me with articulate clarity and sincere sensitivity. And he gave me a choice of listening to Torah or music. Can you imagine in a doctor's office? If you're whitening your teeth in an advanced way or taking care of bigger issues, this is the dental chair you want to be in. I'm proud to say Dr. Aaron Braun at Gentle Dental Care is my dentist, and you too can reach him in the heart of Borough Park at 718-436-2300. So for a whiter, brighter smile and all the big issues as well, call the offices of Dr. Aaron Braun today at 718-436-2300. That's 718-436-2300, and you'll proudly smile as well.
Coming to the grand opening of New York iPhone Repair at 1279 49th Street near the B11 bus. Let Isaac and his crew take care of all your iPhones, iPads, laptops. 1279 49th Street. Call them. 718-677-4343. 718-677-4343. New York iPhone Repairs. Welcome back to the program. I'm Zev Brenner. We're speaking with Satmar Zionists for Israel, live in our studios. Yoel, Weiss, Shmili, Barmi, part of a group called Zoreach, Hasidim for Southern Land of Israel. Taking your phone calls, 1-888-NYC Radio. Email Zev at talklinecommunications.com. Here's a quick email before we get to our phone lines. Were your guests ever threatened by the fanatics in the Satmar community who are extreme in their anti-Zionist views? Shmili.
No, because we're not anti. We're only pro. Our group is only pro. Like I said before, we're not here to change people's minds. We're just trying to rekindle the love that everybody has for Eretz Yisrael, but they don't know it.
Okay, let's go to Rabbi Leiter in Monsey, New York, very patiently waiting. So, Rabbi Leiter, thank you for joining us. Good luck.
Good luck. Thanks for taking the call. As you may know, Zev, my background actually is very different from theirs. I grew up in a very Zionist-oriented environment. I graduated from YU. And I've recognized, because of being very exposed to what Zionism is all about in a very practical sense, a lot of the pitfalls within the milieu and the movements, both practically speaking and theoretically speaking. And I just would like to perhaps enlighten people that might be considering coming out of the background of Satmar. They may not be familiar with what they're, getting involved in when they're trying to embrace elements of the Zionist milieu, particularly when it comes to the State of Israel. You don't have to address the State of Israel from the perspective of the Shalosh Tzvuos. If you take a look at a very good sefer called Uvolitzion Goel, put out by a Litvish fellow by the name of Rubinstein, he quotes from the Chavetz Chaim extensively about the evils of the Zionist founders of the State of Israel, and he's very anti-Zionist, but he doesn't mention anything about the Shalosh Tzvuos. He predicates his approach based on the reality of the fact that the state was founded and is maintained by people, at least people in positions of great influence, who are using their positions to undermine Yiddishkeit, and they're using the state to do that.
But you're talking about, Rabbi Len, you're talking about old stuff. You look at the leadership today of Israel. It's different than it was 60 years ago.
I'm talking about today. I'm talking about...
You're telling me that Bibi Netanyahu is out to undermine Judaism?
Look at the Supreme Court.
I'm talking about you said I'm asking the leadership, the government. Bibi Netanyahu.
Well, Bibi Netanyahu is in to do what he believes politically.
You believe? I asked you a question. Do you believe that he is here to undermine Judaism? That's what the charge that you made. I'm asking you. Do you believe that?
Not necessarily. But it
okay.
doesn't make a difference even if
you think that the Shas party and all the religious parties that are sitting in the coalition government have that agenda?
The religious parties, generally speaking, are populated by people whose agenda is power and money. So that's actually, in a sense, worse because, at least the anti-religious in some cases believe
Hold on. We don't have time to get into long. However, let me say, Rabbi Leiter, certainly every party jockeys for position of influence and power, but their agenda is funding the yeshivas. That's their agenda.
That's the problem.
Why? They want to have more learning, and you have more learning in Eretz Yisrael today than you ever had before. You have more Jews in Israel than ever before.
Kids that are being misled, that are being
misled to what? You're talking old stuff. There is no movement. There's no movement. You're talking about old stuff. You're talking about. If you told me 60 years ago you had the secular Zionists that were anti-religious, but that's not true today. Shmili, you want to chime in?
Today I was last year
Look at
Army
all the
base.
secular education that's
Secular
being
education.
perpetrated against
By
the
the
Jewish
way,
kids
there
that
is
are growing
secular
up.
education where they took out Tanakh, and there are movements even in the
I'm
army where they're
talking
teaching
about
Judaism
all the
in the
kids
army.
being brought up in a secular environment, denied a true Jewish
All
education.
these kids who are going to grow up in the secular environment won't intermarry like here in America. They would marry
That doesn't-
Jewish
first of all,
girls.
that doesn't make a
They would
difference,
marry
and
Jewish
you're trying to
girls. And here in
that's
America,
utterly
we have a
irrelevant, and I think
silent
Anyway,
Holocaust
I
of 7
appreciate-
million in the past 50 years, which nobody's talking about. But in Israel, you don't have that intermarriage.
Exactly, Rebel. I appreciate your phone call, and we don't have enough time to get into a whole back and forth. I don't mind doing discussion back and forth, a debate, but I think you're presenting old stuff which is not relevant. But I appreciate your phone call. Let's go to Alan in Williamsburg. Thank you, Alan in Williamsburg. We have only a little amount of time. A lot of people calling. Alan in Williamsburg, your question or comment?
Hi, it's Aaron, not Alan.
Aaron, that's what's written down on my board here, bro. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I get the Vach. I
Good
just want
Vach.
to clarify something. I grew up in KJ, in Kiryas Yoel. They did teach us Yoel Moshe. I don't know where Shmili was at that time, but he stated in the beginning of the show that the thing is, just don't ask. It's not true at all. They always teach us. They give lectures
Aaron.
and shirim about Yoel Moshe.
Aaron,
So
can
I
you
don't
tell
know.
me? Can you tell me the Shola Shvias?
I'm not going to go into that right now because I don't have time. I would love to.
No,
but
no,
the
you
point
have.
is
I'll
that
give
I
you
just want to
15
clarify that point.
seconds.
Just want to clarify that point that they do give lectures in the yeshiva, in the cheder, and it's not true at all. Just
Anyway,
wanted
I
to
appreciate
correct
your
that.
phone call. Thank you for clarifying. Because I
One
was
second, another point. One
Yes.
more point. To Yoeli Weiss.
Yes, ARAM.
Okay. I really love your chocolate.
Thank you
okay?
very much.
And I just want to tell you that from a business point of view, you did a very bad move because most of your customers are from Williams. Actually, you're located in Williamsburg. And I think you touched a very sensitive nerve.
I'm
And
only
it's gonna
talking
backfire
about
you.
the love
Just,
of
I really
Eretz
pity you.
Yisrael.
I mean-
I think all of our customers love Eretz Yisrael, and I think putting together the Zionist movement, secular Zionist, and the halachic point is not what I'm doing. I'm talking about going to Israel, loving Israel, having yearnings, gaguim, chasifim to Israel, and I don't have a problem with my customers knowing that. I think they all know. They all. feel
Listen,
the
let's
same
hope
thing.
nothing will happen, and you should have a lot of tzlacha.
Man, I agree with you. And
I
but
appreciate it.
let me say this. And I just met for the first time both Yoeli and Shmili within the last day or so. And I have to tell you that they speak with a passion and a love, and they love Satmar. They may not agree with that the philosophy. They think maybe things have changed, but they love Eretz Yisrael. They love the Satmar, but they're not here to be anti-Satmar. They're not. They're here to promote a love for Eretz Yisrael, which they believe is the core what Yiddishkeit is all about.
Right.
And I think that's a distinction we have to make, unlike some other
Right,
people.
Zev, can I say one more point?
Sure.
A quick
Yes.
one. People have it very wrong, by the way. Satmar Rebbe actually also loved Israel very much.
True that. True
And
that.
he always said that you should never pray that anything bad should happen to any Jew in Israel. You should only pray that they should do tshuva. Just want to.
Is that implemented in the curriculum today?
Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyway, let's go to. We have a call from Yerushalayim. Ellie from Yerushalayim. You're on the air. Go ahead, please. Ellie in Jerusalem. Ellie, are you there?
Yes.
Sure. Good morning to you. I know it's good morning. Actually, good afternoon to you in Jerusalem. Your question for our guest.
Yes, he was quoting the Chofetz Chaim against the state of Israel. Interestingly enough, the Panovich Sharov, even though he was a Talmud of the Chofetz Chaim, what he did is he built the yeshivas, and that's what all the Gedolim that Israel did from before the establishment of the state of Israel and afterwards. So if Rabbi Chona Wasserman had his views of the Chofetz Chaim, we have the Panovich Sharov and all the other Gedolim that did the right thing and based on the Chofetz Chaim's teachings.
Are you listening to us on the? Are you listening to us online at talklinecommunications.com?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your call. We appreciate it. The Punch of Rav Kahanim was a ardent supporter of this land in the state of Israel. Thank you for your phone call. Let's go to Shmuel in Brooklyn. Shmuel in Brooklyn.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. I give tremendous chizuk for these young boys. and to being so courageous in coming out with these things. You could still respect Satmar, but could certainly differ. You don't have to do egg walk, and you don't have to be apologetic. The Satmarov negated Yishuv Eretz Yisrael because of Shalosh Shuas. And even if everybody does tshuva in Eretz Yisrael, and Bibi Netanyahu becomes a Haredi, and every 120 members of Knesset are Haredim, still the Shalosh Shuas apply, and the negation of Mitzvah Yishuv Eretz Yisrael is in place. So please, do not be apologetic. There's no need to doctor up Yoel Moshe. It stands there as a shita. Yechidoye. Most of them did not agree with it. Out of respect, I don't agree with it, and we have other gedolim to follow. There is a mitzvah yishuv eretz Yisrael bizman hazeh, whether it's kiyumit or chiyuvit. You could go into discussion with that. According to Rav Moshe, there's kiyumis and chiyuvis. Again, there is a mitzvah yishuv eretz Yisrael bizman hazeh, to which Rav Moshe totally negates it, even if every single person in Eretz Yisrael is a shomer Torah mitzvot.
Thank you for your that. We appreciate your phone call. We're going to move on. Here's an email question. With all due respect to your guests, there is a major problem with intermarriage in Israel with the Russians and others. It is not so simple as your guests are saying. Still very small compared to
very small. I mean, over here we have a 60-70%, and over there you don't have it. Plus, over there you got to understand that the Chagim in Eretz Yisrael are not like over here. Chamashos b'Shvat. I was Chamashos b'Shvat in Eretz Yisrael. Telling you Chamashos b'Shvat is nicer than over here Sukkos. And that's a regular Chamashos b'Shvat. Or Chodesh. You go on the street, everybody will say Chodesh Tov, Chodesh Tov. Over here, you'll hear it in shul, but in the business world, you won't hear Chodesh Tov.
Erev Shabbos, I went to a secular mall. 12 o'clock comes, all's closing down. Shabbat is here. It's unbelievable. I mean, of course, there's things to fix, but the beautiful things and the love for
it's our problem. It's our problem, and we want to fix it. It's all we're Raisa Yisrael Kitchubrichi Raisa Chadi. We're all one.
Right.
We're all one people.
Yisrael, the land, the people, and God. We're all one, and we're here for one big goal.
1-888 NYC Radio. We have only a few moments left. 1-888 NYC Radio. 1-888-692-7234. Let's go to Abe in Midwood. Abe in Midwood, your question for our guest.
Zev, I just wanted to say that Medina means state, Eretz means country. I don't know why people call it Medina Yisrael. It's Eretz Yisrael. Medina, like New York, is a state, Medina. Israel is a country, so it should be referred to as Eretz Yisrael. I don't know why people refer to it as Medina Yisrael. I'm mentioning because it's not Medina. It's a country. It's Eretz. It's not a Medina. Medina means a state. I don't know why people use the term Medina.
You're right, Abe. If I become prime minister, I'll change it.
Anyway, thank you for your phone call. Okay, good. Thank you for bringing up the point. Here's an email question. Israel is a fact today with the largest concentration of Jews anywhere in the world. So why are we fighting the battle of the last century? What would people who are against Israel do today about Israel? Good question. Good point. Okay, let's go to Usher in Muncie. Usher in Muncie. Go ahead. Your question or comment.
Hey, I just wanted to thank you guys. I appreciate it. You guys are doing amazing. And I also wanted to let you know that Hashem, I just want to remind you, Hashem is giving you Parnassa, not Williamsburg, and not Satmar.
Thank you, Usher. Thank you so much. You can't be more correct.
Okay, and now I would like to ask if you guys can give out information on how to join Zoreach, because I am absolutely joining Zoreach. You guys are amazing.
By the way, what background are you?
I was born and raised in New Square, and I love Israel. I was never told not to love Israel. In Square, they actually say Israel is very holy. Everybody should go there. The Square ever sends people to move to Israel. And, yes, I'm ready to move to Israel.
Okay. How do people join Zoreach? How do people get more information? I'm getting some emails about that. Okay.
Well, I guess you can put it on the website, their number, or
why don't we give it?
There's a website, Zoreach.com. There's a blog, Zoreach.com. They're on Facebook. They're on Twitter. I'm basically
Zoreach. That's how you spell?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for your phone call. Let's go to.
Thank you so much.
Good. Thank you. Good luck. Then now you got information. You can join Zoreach. Let's go to David in Williamsburg. David in Williamsburg, your question or comment?
Good Vach.
Good Vach.
I only one comment. Are they going to plan to have a rabbi that's going to guide them and be a Maraderech?
We have right now rabbis who are guiding us in Eretz Yisrael, included Mota Frank, Laser Brody, a few other guys who are guiding us, and
That's a big plus because people do need a rabbi, and not only to guide them in ways that they should on a daily basis. That's number one. Number two, I do want to mention that it's not so that people. Satmar Zionists maybe b'shit to love that Yisrael, love the people, and he meant l'shem Shemayim everything he did. But the general public in Satmar is taught to hate Israel and is influenced by the agenda that Eretz Yisrael is no good, the land is no good, and the culture is no good, and etc. And that should take a change. They don't know about the love that Satmar ever had. That's somewhat forgotten. And it's more hate, and that should change, and that's what you guys are doing. Keep up the wonderful job.
If I'm not mistaken, Satmar Rebbe said on himself that he's the biggest Zionist out there because he never stops talking and caring about Zion, which that was in the beginning of the show. We said that we're Zionists, we're Zion lovers. Ahavas Tzion, Ohev Tzion, we love Eretz Yisrael, we love the Eretz Zovas Cholav Advash.
Anyway, thank you for your phone.
I just wanted to mention one more comment. I know my wife taught in Satmar, and every time they used to have a meeting from staff, they used to finish in the Medinas of Ven Ozdarkit Voshneller. It's like you teach hate, and that should stop. There's no hate for one Jew to another Jew, and it's only a matter of different opinions.
Anyway, thank you for your good question. Let me just also remind our audience we're with you Wednesday and Thursday nights from 7 to 9 p.m. on WSNR 620 a.m. 7 o'clock. You don't want to miss Amar Rabbi Yeshua, the Silk Road to Jerusalem, with the Bukharian Chief Rabbi Yitzchak Yehoshua, a very popular broadcast. Thursday night at 7 o'clock, it's Councilman David Greenfield. Yours truly, 8 to 9 every night. Let's go to Williamsburg. David in Williamsburg. David, are you there? Quick question. We're almost out of time. Are you still there?
I just finished talking. So.
Oh, sorry. Let's go to Yiddle in Williamsburg. Okay. Let's go to Yiddle in Williamsburg. Yiddle, go ahead, please. Yiddle, are you there? Do we have Yiddle? Okay, let me read an email question. Zev, don't be happy that there's still over 50,000 children learning in Satmar-based yeshivas, hating Zionism, going all the way of all the Gedolim, including the Chafetz Chaim, that always says that they're the Amalekim of the star. Even Yoli is ashamed to call himself a Zionist.
I'm not ashamed to call myself a Zionist at all.
Plus, you got to understand that one thing, there's a pasuk, Surmarav Asay Tov, go away from the bad and do good. Now, certain people need to be busy their whole life with Surmarah. Certain people need to be busy with Asay Tov. We choose to be busy with Asay Tov rather than Surmarah, because when you're busy with Surmarah, in the end, some bad will stick to you. If you do Asay Tov, you'll become better.
Don't be anti. What are you pro, right?
Exactly.
Here's a nice email to Yoli W. Take it from a longtime Williamsburg resident. We'll always stay your customers no matter what here and hope what we hear. Hope eventually in Israel, Hashem. Good chocolate, it's hard to find, and Williamsburg loves good food.
Great. And you can also get all of Laser Brody's CDs of Emunah in my store for free. It's all the time there ready for you.
Okay, here's another email question. I want to buy Yoli's chocolate. Many of us who love Eretz Yisrael now know about the chocolate. Try to give him business. Okay. Also, can we change the false negative perception of Zionism, which is that being anti-Torah secular Zionist, just like today, to be human rights activist is the opposite of, or peace now activist is the opposite of, be called a Zionist is a dirty word, because someone who is against Torah and calls themselves a Zionist can't really represent Zionism, because by definition, Ki Mitzion Teisei Torah with Varashem Yerushalayim. Okay, I'm going to take a quick question. Airmont, our final call. Let's go to Airmont. You're on the air. We have about 10 seconds. Go ahead, Airmont. Are you there? Quick question.
Hello?
Yes, quick question, Maishi.
Yeah, I think you guys are doing great. I'm amazed by I love you guys. The question is, I think it's awesome, but why don't you guys just pick yourself up and move there? Because I would love to move there, but there's no...
They are moving there. Anyway, thank you. We're out of time. I want to thank you, Yoeli Weiss, for being here with us. I tell people to go to his chocolate store, they can buy him in No Nuts. It's called Chocolate Wise, W-I-S-C. It's 106 Lee Avenue, right? In Williamsburg. Go there, patronize him. Shmili Barmi uses construction services, right? Going to be builder in Israel. Thank you, gentlemen. Zoreach, how do people get a hold of Zoreach? Again,
Zoreach.com on their website. They have Facebook, Twitter, blogs, all over. If you're really a lover of Zion and you want to make Aliyah, you'll find Zoreach.
We'll find you. We'll have you back, and good luck continuing. So thank you for joining us next week.